Hey everyone, welcome back to Dino Boy Gaming Reviews, and I am going to be reviewing Alien Romulus. Yes, I have seen Alien Romulus. Fede Alvarez and Ridley Scott did a phenomenal job on it. Can't wait to see what happens next. This video does contain spoilers for Alien Romulus. For Alien Romulus. So, uh, go watch the movie. The video. Why did I say the video? Go watch the movie before watching this video. Anyway, what are my thoughts on Alien Romulus? First of all, the visuals of the film are fantastic. They're gorgeous. There are some shots that will remind you of the 2014 game Alien Isolation. By the way, that's how good this movie is. That is how good this movie is. This movie is so good that I would watch it again in a heartbeat. Literally. That I would watch it again in a heartbeat. Yeah, I would. That's if I could. I can't. But maybe if it comes on Blu-ray, maybe I could do a reaction video of it. Obviously with saying, copyright, blah, blah, blah on top of it. Or something like that. But anyway, ignore all what I just said. I'm going to be saying my pros and cons of this film. What I liked and what I didn't like. What I thought was kind of confusing. What I thought was kind of cool and also very weird. First of all, I'm first going to start off with the Xenomorph. The traditional Xenomorph. This bad boy. The big chap. Or the original Xenomorphs in this movie. They don't get enough screen time to really shine that much. They get a couple scenes, but that's really it. They get the scene where Kay gets skewered by a xenomorph because Andy wouldn't open the door and it was right behind him. I do have a theory about that. Why I didn't initially just go for the kill right away in that scene. I do have a theory as probably to why. In that scene in that movie. Taylor Johnson was phenomenal as Andy. Kaylee Spaney was perfect as Rain. The only characters I really didn't like in this movie was that one guy that was very mean and not very nice to Andy. He wasn't very nice to Andy at all. It made me feel almost bad for Andy. But where was I? Yeah, I almost felt kind of bad for Andy. Mainly because he's just being pushed around, shoved around. He's not really liked by anybody except, Rain. And, also I hated the two men characters in this in this movie, mainly because they were so stupid. Especially when they were literally right in front of a xenomorph. Now, there's one thing of the xenomorph that they did not have that I absolutely disliked. I'll get into that in a bit, but um uh basically in basically in the beginning of the film they're basically nobodies, basically. Like Rain and Andy are basically nobodies. They get a chance to live outside the colony, and basically they get to they get to leave. Basically, they get to go and venture on their own or whatever. They run into the space station called the Romulus, that's run down and infested with xenomorphs in basically in stasis, and which is also holding the pathogen from Prometheus and in Covenant. Now, there's one thing that I thought was weird. There was no reference to the neomorph in this film. We know it exists in the alien universe. We all know that that thing exists. We all know that. But I would have loved it if in this film they showed some security camera footage or something, basically past events before Alien, showing Prometheus and the Covenant with the with the engineers and whatnot. I never saw those movies, by the way, because I absolutely hate them. Not because they're bad movies, it's because they're scares. I don't know what it is about CGI. I don't know what it is with a CGI xenomorph, but a CGI xenomorph scares me more than anything else. Really, it does. That's not even a joke. I'm serious. But back to what I was saying. They basically try to find somewhere to dock the space station. They basically try to find somewhere to dock. They dock nearby. The zero gravity is turned off. There's no gravity. There's no nothing at all. It's completely zero G. And basically there is one thing that kind of made me upset in this movie, is that the amount of noise that was being made by things like crashing and falling and whatnot. Like that made me very annoyed. Now you probably want to know why. I'll give you an idea why. This thing didn't start attacking until the door scene. What the frick? Why? You'd think with all those alarms blaring in that area, they would come running. But they don't. They never do. They literally have to walk through it to find the facehuggers, to find the xenomorph. Basically, to find this thing. Basically. Because that upset me a little bit while watching it. Not me hating the movie or anything. I love that movie. I would watch 100 times if I wanted to. But it's just, it felt like, was the xenomorph doing that on? Made me think, was the xenomorph just ignoring the loud blaring sirens and metal clang noises on purpose? Or or is it in Romulus that the xenomorphs are smarter and are more intelligent than they were in both Aliens and both Alien and Aliens? The Romulus xenomorphs are smarter than those two combined. They're not like they don't neglect people like they're victims. But anyway, Andy basically the ship kind of goes out of control. That one bald-headed lady, I forget her name, gets a facehugger lashed on her face. Basically, they try to remove it. It keeps squeezing tighter, referencing that scene from Resurrection where it keeps like contracting her neck to the point where it's gonna choke her to death. And basically, it essentially makes it clear that now when it was on her face for a long period of time, I thought it already was in her. I thought the xenomorph, the chest burster was already implanted inside of that bald-headed girl. Like I thought that at first, but it wasn't. It was not. It hadn't made the full journey into her body yet. Like, and of all the alien characters in the franchise, all the boy characters seem to do is stand around and do nothing about it. When they literally have cryogas on their back. Yeah, I hate those characters. For good reason. I'm happy they're dead in the movie. I'm happy they died in the movie. Why? I'll tell you why. Because they didn't know that cryo stuff could freeze the things, could freeze and let go of the pull of the facehugger's tail. When they should have already knew that from the very start. Really, they should have already known that the creatures are affected by temperature. They released them. That's one of my main nitpicks of that scene, where they're talking to Rook about saving Chitani or whatever her name is. Basically, they're trying to work to save her, but they necessarily can't get the facehugger off unless they can't get the facehugger off because it's just going to squeeze tighter around her neck. And that still, like really, I'm serious. Like that sequence from the movie makes me upset. That sequence made me upset because they were like, made me upset in my mind at least. Because in my head, when I was watching it, I was like, these guys are so stupid. They don't even know how to help people. That's literally how my brain that's literally how that scene went through my brain. And later on they use the cryogas to freeze the tail, which lets go of the tail. They pull the facehugger off of Chutani or whatever that bald-headed girl's name is. Nothing against bald-headed women. Nothing against bald-headed women. Okay. Nothing against it. Ugh. My jaw's bugging me. But as they're pulling it off, the seed's already been shot through. The seed's already been shot through. It's already entered her body. When they pulled it off, it already entered her body. Yeah. Because it would have made a lot slower journey into her. If it was basically if it was still stuck on her face, it would have went into her body slower. Now, I do like how they reused the original Xenomorph chestburster puppet. I can tell they remade that from scratch. I love it to death. It's so cool. But it's like weird salivating mouth and stuff. With weird saliva dripping mouth and whatnot. But later on in the film, they find Kay. Andy can't open the door because the xenomorph is standing on rafters on the actual ship behind her. So what ends up happening is they're all panicking like idiots. Everyone knows in an aliens movie, learn to speak, Jacob. In an alien movie, you don't panic. You do not do that. These things can see that fear in you and will kill you. Very dead. But they basically they're trying to get Andy to open the door. He won't open it. So what ends up happening is the xenomorph is just crawling slowly up to her, and it basically sticks her in the tail. It sticks the tail through her shoulder, which if you notice, it doesn't go for the middle of their chest. If you notice, the xenomorph misses the middle of their chest. I have a couple of theories on that later on in this video. So basically they what they do is basically they try to find Kay and rescue her before it's too late. But before they get there, they find pulse rifles to use against the xenomorphs. Then they find the pathogen. But before that, they find this they find this synthetic named Rook. He is a Ash model. He's a model of Ash, Ian Holmes, from the original Alien, without his head severed, by the way. And basically, he recaps what happened in Alien. He recaps what Ellen Ripley went through in Alien. He says something along the lines of that it was jettisoned into space. It was shot with a harpoon and shot and released out of the airlock. They were looking for it ever since. So obviously Weyland-Yutani knew that thing existed. And if you look at the xenomorph, it's the original suit. It's the original suit from the original Alien. Yeah. It's the original suit from the original Alien. If you look at the wiki, and the wiki page of it, that xenomorph, the big chap. But they call it something else. They call it XX something 21 something. I forget. It's been a day since I've seen that movie, so yeah. So basically, basically Andy takes the pathogen, and he was going to take it back to the colony to basically make the perfect human being, to make the perfect human organism. Not the thing I'm looking at over here. And basically, and they find Kay in a xenomorph nest, and a xenomorph hive, but Andy stops in dead place. He stops right in place. He tells the others to go the other way because of the fact that there are eggs. Because I saw eggs when I watched the movie. I did see eggs, but I don't know why they didn't do the thing. They didn't open. Like that's what made Alien Grays, with that face hugger jump scare where it goes blah out of the egg, or like jumps at the person's face out of the egg. But never mind that. Anyway, they then find Kay unconscious with her eyes doing that. With her eyes doing this. With her eyes rolled up in the back of her head. And before that, Andy was set up with a new directive to finish what Weyland-Yutani started. To finish what he started. And basically, but back to the other part. They are carrying this vial of pathogen with them, or the black goo, whatever you want to call it. And they're carrying Kay with them, and she's like bleeding, and she's like bleeding from her shoulder and whatnot. But what's funny is that the xenomorph actually saved Kay's life. I'm gonna go into theory mode for a minute. In the scene where she gets struck with the tail of the xenomorph, the stinger tail, when Kay gets stabbed by the xenomorph and raised up and dragged away, it hits her here in the chest. It doesn't hit from here. It doesn't strike from the back inward, like how it would do in the original Alien movies. Is they wouldn't strike your chest. They wouldn't strike your pec muscles. They would strike your chest. Basically they would strike your back first and have the blade go out through your chest. Is what would happen. Man, I keep starting today. Good Lord. But Kay is still knocked out. They get her to they bring her back to the ship, the cargo ship that they were on before. And basically before Rain and Andy could get back on their ship, what ends up happening is Kay becomes a literal badass in the stupid way. And injects herself with the pathogen. But the pathogen doesn't heal her. It heals her baby. Yeah, it heals her baby. It revives her baby. Earlier in the film, she was pregnant with a human baby. But what ends up happening is crazy. Is that she injects herself in the neck. Don't know why you'd Kurt Connors. I don't know why she would have Kurt Connors herself. Like I thought that her injecting herself in the neck was stupid, in my opinion. When I saw her do that, I was like, why? Why'd she do that? Basically, her injecting herself with the pathogen, it basically went and reanimated her baby, which in turn was a bad idea. Because it not only reanimated the baby, but it made her go into labor really fast. Like really fast. Like xenomorph fast. Yeah. Like that fast. And then basically what ends up happening next is she doesn't shite out a human baby. She shites out an egg. Yes, an egg. And what Kay births is this unholy abomination. A half human, half xenomorph. Yeah. It creates this creature that's half human, half xenomorph. But it escapes the egg pretty quick because xenomorphs shed fast. Like they shed quickly. Like really quickly. Like quicker than you could bake a cake. Quick. Yeah. That fast. And it basically Andy was put his hand in front of it, trying to stop it, trying to make it stop. You just gave Andy the freaking Godzilla pimp slap to the face and knocked him down. And then the next part is truly horrifying. Then the tension sets in. Because what happens is truly unholy and terrifying. Basically, what happens is when he hits Andy and knocks him down, it starts going straight for Kay. Now, I'm gonna break away from that for a second and talk about my theory here. I have a theory for this. Because in this scene, basically, this creature, this thing, or whatever it's called, goes straight for K. And what it does is it kills her. I know I'm not supposed to say that on here. My apologies. It basically kills her. Yes. But I think I have a theory as to why. Because in the alien universe, no xenomorph, born from human or not, in that franchise, born from human, elephant, whatever, in that franchise, has killed what would be technically their quote unquote queen. Yeah. So this creature called the Offspring is basically a half human, half xenomorph that is literally 7 foot tall. And this thing is unsettling. Like, it doesn't even show you what happened to Kay. All you see is the bloody mess splatter on where she was. And if you look closely at its body, you can tell it basically ate her alive. You can tell the thing basically ate her alive. Literally. Like if you go watch the movie and you pay close attention, because I paid close enough attention to it that I noticed it. Right before it cut off, right before it cut to the next scene, I noticed that this offspring creature thing, like, abdomen was wider, was big, was like human big. It was like basically like the weird pot belly that the newborn in Alien Resurrection had, except it had a person in it. Yeah, a dead person in it. Like, and also, and by the way, if you see me kind of like going, yeah, I don't like talking about that thing very much. But basically, Kay dies, and it's all up to Rain to face this disgusting beast. Now, the thing I like about this thing compared to the Neomorph is it's got a tail. Like, it actually has a legit tail, like a Xenomorph. Like, they don't okay. Like, Ridley Scott should not call anything with, like, ENO, like Neomorph, Xenomorph, without the tail. The tail is what makes the morph part. Basically, the signature, the iconic tail, is what makes it a Xenomorph. That's what makes it the legitimate alien. And basically, this thing's like walking towards her. She's trying to back away from it, run from it, even though it is looking for a mother figure. You can tell, but it just killed its mother figure. Like, literally. When it doesn't know that. Like, that, you can tell when you watch the movie, you can tell with its eyes that it doesn't know what its mother figure is. Like, it does not know what it is or who its mother is. because it absorbed her. It literally absorbed her like someone like sucking down a milkshake. Pause. Literally. It literally did. But Rain activates. Rain actually does 2 endings in one. Actually. Funny enough, in this, Rain does 2 endings. So Rain basically opens the airlock and at the same time shoots a hole straight into the vacuum of space where it launches the thing, where she launches it out, where she launches it out of that, where she launches it out into space, but it didn't go out into space like the xenomorph. It didn't float off into space like the xenomorph did. No, it was still on her. Like, literally. And this jump scare got me. I wasn't prepared for it. I was prepared. In my mind, I was prepared for it to happen, but I wasn't. Because I wasn't prepared for it to hit the glass dome of the spacesuit. Yeah. I wasn't prepared for that. So by the way, if you guys don't know, if you guys have just seen Alien Romulus and you're just tuning into this video, if you don't know what that reference is when it bites the glass, that is a reference to Alien and Covenant when the xenomorph sticks its inner mouth through glass. They can do that. They're glass resistant. They're immune to the sharp edges of glass, so they can pierce through glass and break it. Look up a few clips if you have to. Because, like, their little inner mouth, their little thing here, breaks glass. Yeah, it doesn't just break heads or skulls. This thing breaks glass too. Like that's how crazy that thing is. This thing breaks glass with its mouth. Its inner mouth. And also basically Rain basically shoves it into space. It gets ripped apart just like the newborn in Alien Resurrection. And I would like to say I'm going to talk about some of the Easter eggs that are in this movie a little bit right now. They reference the original xenomorph. They have it literally like this above the ceiling with the harpoon with the tow cable stuck in it from when Ripley shot at it. When Ripley shot the tow cable into it and it fell back, it was holding the doors of the airlock like something out of a freaking cartoon. Like something out of Hanna-Barbera. But like I'm going to talk about, and right now I'm going to talk about potential sequel potential for this. But before I do that, the ending is just like Alien and Aliens, I think, with Rain sending a broadcast as she goes off into the sunset. Now, I thought there'd be a post-credit scene at the end teasing the next movie. There wasn't. There was not a post-credit scene in it to reference, then to basically hype up the next movie, which we all know when the next movie will take place. We all know when the next movie after Alien Romulus takes place. The next film takes place in between Aliens, like the last movie, except it's aliens. Well, I just said that, didn't I? It takes place in between Aliens, except it doesn't take place in the same time as Romulus, which takes place between Alien and Aliens. The next movie will take place in between Aliens and Aliens 3. Yeah. You don't need to speculate that. You kind of already know that, kind of, with the way they're going with these movies. Because this movie was gold. Was horror movie gold. Now, the next film, the next films I want to see from Fede Alvarez is a couple of things, actually. Is one, a horror movie Jurassic Park film. Yes. Because Ridley Scott and Fede Alvarez would knock that out of the ballpark. Jurassic Park's darkness isn't really hard to recreate, really. You just need to have a you basically just need to have a storm come through the island and have it wreak havoc across the island, with people getting killed in brutal ways. I get it. Jurassic World and the dinosaur stuff is for, adults and young teens and children and whatnot. As in the Jurassic World movies are, anyway. But this could set up, in theory, that he could do a dinosaur one. Because the way he portrayed the xenomorph in this was phenomenal. By the way, there was one nitpick I have with this movie. It's the scene where the xenomorph, where Kay is underneath, holding onto a rail. The xenomorph is just staring her down, just looking at her through the great walkway, and it makes this, or the the but the raptor noise from Jurassic Park, that's basically that very soft noise, that hiss it makes. That's illegal, by the way. I don't know how they got that in, but that's illegal. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know why they used a Jurassic Park raptor hissing sound. The freaking the freaking xenomorph already has those noises. It already has noises that go like that. and stuff like that. They make like hissing and big like dinosaur like roars. But they don't have that this time. Now on my last thing I said, where I said that the next Alien movie could take place in between Aliens and Aliens 3. You guys may be like, why would it take place in between Peak and a bad movie? Well, technically that film that would come out of those two combined would be actually make Aliens 3 better. To be honest with you, really. And I want them to bring the Neomorph back. Yes, the nimble, tiny nymph Neomorph. Yes, from Alien and Covenant. Except, what I want them to do is do it H.R. Ganger. Like, basically I would want them to do a Neomorph kind of in H.R. Ganger's style. Basically. What am I saying? I am saying that I want them to make a new version of the Neomorph that is more akin to H.R. Ganger's actual xenomorph. Basically, how he would see the Neomorph. Basically. Yeah, basically. Because I hate the Neomorph because in Alien and Covenant, the difference between a xenomorph and a neomorph is that the neomorphs have a tail when they're born, but they lose that tail when they get older. That's why I hate it so much. That's why I hate the neomorphs so much. It's a total contrast to the original xenomorph. Yes. The black one. Yes, the big chap is what I'm saying. The big chap. That's more akin to the big chap. Basically, a neomorph that is stylized in a white color that's basically a lighter version of the xenomorph. And what I'm saying to you right now is that basically what I want in the next film is them to do the neomorph, but it's more akin to how the design would look if it were created by H.R. Ganger, the original creator of the ultimate life form. Wait, wrong franchise. The perfect organism. As an ultimate life form. The perfect organism, basically. The original creator of the perfect organism. Because what I don't like is that they completely forgot about the neomorph. Well, kinda. with the offspring, kinda. By the way, the thing I wanted them to do when I thought of a xenomorph hybrid with a human, a half human, half xenomorph, originally was going to be a good guy. Yeah. Basically, what I'm saying is I'd rather have a good guy xenomorph, a xenomorph that doesn't kill anything, that's docile, friendly to everything, unless the original Xenos, the xenomorphs, black ones, show up, because what I want them to do with the xenomorph in the next Alien movie, this is my prediction at least, is have it where the xenomorph, like they have, basically, because the xenomorphs don't have an actual proper rival in their universe. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't have an actual proper rival. Like, there isn't a rival big chap, is what I'm saying. There's not a half xenomorph, half human. There's a half xenomorph, half human with more xenomorph than human, which is what the offspring is. Okay, if you watch Alien Romulus and you look closely, you can tell that the offspring is more xenomorph than human in its brain. Yeah, in its brain. It's basically got 3 brains, but I think I know why. In the scene where it attacks Ash and kills Kay and nearly kills Rain, I think the offspring was in mortal pain. Basically was in so much pain, it was like infuriated. Yeah. Kind of like the thing from AVP where the queen is chasing after the predator. That type of situation. So basically, what I'm saying is that it's basically that is basically, if I can think of it, is basically in pain. The offspring in Romulus is basically in pain, like aching pain. As I was saying, the basically the offspring in Alien Romulus was in like aching pain, probably because it had a larger brain than the average human. Think of it. I think the original concept for the offspring was that it was going to look like the xenomorphs, have the xenomorphs' back head dome, basically have this part of the xenomorph right here, except it'd be more like a human head with kind of a part of it sticking out like that, kind of like the mastermind Hulk from Marvel. That one Hulk that can basically hypnotize any other Hulk, or basically he got telekinesis, basically is what I'm saying. The master of the Hulks is basically what I'm saying. That big brain, that big brained character from Marvel that's green, that's kind of like, looks like the Hulk kinda, but it's not. Now, I will say the details that they put on with the offspring, the one I liked was that they made its face black. Yeah. They made its face dark in the movie. They made it dark. Its face was like completely black, referencing the xenomorph's eyeless face. And when I saw that on the screen, I was like, ooh, that's freaking creepy. Like, and NECA better not make any toys of that thing, because why? I know they did it with in Covenant and the Neomorph, but this is different. This thing's more humanoid than a Xenomorph. Yeah. The offspring would be harder for them to make because they would have to make it off of a famous basketball player. Yeah. Yeah. They would literally have to make it 777. Basically, 7'7". The direct same height as that one guy that plays the offspring in Alien Romulus. Now, it's kind of funny how they never showed a queen. So is it saying that there was an original script? Because maybe there was an original script that Disney didn't really, well, approve of. Maybe there was a script that was never shared online for Romulus, basically an old script at this point for the movie that probably would have had Kay become a queen, maybe. I don't know. But the main thing is I can't wait to see more movies. Like, I can't wait to see what they do. If they do, like, I don't know, like, Alien, basically, they do a movie in between Aliens and Aliens 3, and a movie in between Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection. Yes. And I understand those are bad movies. They're not very good. But if Fede Alvarez makes movies in between those films, those original movies, they could make that the world's the timeline of those movies, of the two bad ones, which is, Alien 3 and, well, Alien Alien Resurrection. But after they do these, I kind of want to see them take a new approach with the Xenomorph. Not a kid-friendly approach. Not at all. I want to see them do something with the xenomorph that's never been done before, where basically there's a hunter that's heard rumors of the perfect organism. Yes. Think of Dutch from Predator. That kind of character. Except it's a character similar to Dutch, except he's not trying to run away from it. He's actually killing them. Like cutting their tail spikes off, or basically brutally murdering the perfect organism as it is. Like, that would be a good movie. I would watch that for hours, because then they could have it where the xenomorphs, basically after these movies, basically, they could have it where they could have it where let me think, where the xenomorphs are forced to align with humans. Basically, what I'm saying is this would take place in the far, far future. Basically, where the xenomorphs have gotten so intelligent, they can talk. Well, they can somewhat talk. They can somewhat speak English, kinda. They're not very good at it. Basically, what I'm saying is their brains are becoming less primal, basically, is what I'm saying. Less primitive. If you don't know what I mean, as in less kill everybody and more save everybody. Because I've always wanted a heroine xenomorph in the Alien franchise for a long time. They did a half human, half xenomorph with the Offspring. But if they could do something similar to the Offspring, but with a twist that is basically it's the Offspring, but cranked all the way to on the human side, and it's shorter than the Offspring. Basically, it's shorter than the Offspring. It's basically a legitimately like you know like it's a xenomorph hybrid with a human being that is basically half xenomorph, half human, and is at the literal average height of an everyday human being. Because it would be a lot scarier, because that would make xenomorphs a lot scarier if they were the height of a human. Because there are 7-foot tall creatures. And the guy who plays the Offspring did a phenomenal job, by the way. Literally did a phenomenal job at portraying that character. It's just the thing I didn't like is it had that sludge on the bottom of its it's like that black sludge on the bottom of its chin, which definitely gave me definite Shy Guy vibes, but it also gave me kind of like, I don't know, vibes of another character that literally, like, you know, has blood on the bottom of their face, basically. Like blood, you're on their chin, basically. And also, for all you Ark fans out there, I'm going to say this. And I don't know if you guys will agree with me on this, but Fede Alvarez and Ridley Scott would be perfect people to do a Ark Survival Evolved movie. Yes. What do I mean by an Ark movie? I'll tell you. Because, basically, in Ark Survival Evolved and Ascended, you have a distant, long distant cousin of the Xenomorph. I mean long distant cousin, as in they're not cousins at all. They're more like relatives, kinda. Basically, a creature that is inspired by the Xenomorph and everything there is about it. The glorious Reaper King and Queen. I want to see how Ridley Scott and Fede Alvarez could bring that behemoth to life. Yeah. Because boy, I would love to see how they could bring them to life. And yes, because I don't know this. I don't even know if Ridley Scott or Fede Alvarez know what Ark is or know of its existence or whatever. I know Epic Games has it on their Epic Games Store, but that's beside the point. And the thing I do not want, and I mean this is a little off topic, but I mean this for Ark. I'm saying this is in an Alien Romulus review because this is how much I truly care. For the people who keep saying, I hope Studio Games goes bankrupt and sells the game, will you guys stop? Like, for reals. Would you guys stop saying that you'd wish they'd go bankrupt? That Wildcard would go bankrupt. And they would sell the game. They can't sell their game, be honest. They really can't. You want to know why? Ark Survival Evolved and Ascended are like Five Nights at Freddy's. Whatever it is. Basically, the rule that Scott said in his interview from before basically applies to Ark, Survival Evolved, and Ascended. What am I saying? I'll give you a hint on what I'm saying. I am saying that that they that what that they're what's the word I'm looking for? Let me think. Basically, what Snail and Studio Wildcard want to do is keep Ark Survival Evolved and Ark Survival Ascended on brand. They would want to keep Ark Survival Evolved and Ark Survival Ascended as Ark Survival Evolved and Ark Survival Ascended. They wouldn't want any other company taking the game because they would ruin it. Because But what I do wish is that they made a collab with Alien. Yes, a collab with Alien. Yeah, with Alien. In celebration of Alien Romulus. Yes, I would love if they did that. Because I would buy that immediately if I had the right console, though. Yeah. If I had the right console, then I'd be able to buy that DLC. Well, that paid DLC anyway. But that's beside the point. Basically, what I want for the Alien franchise is I just want them to experiment with new ideas. Like, take the half human, half xenomorph idea and, like, expand upon it. Like, don't just stop with the offspring and be done with it. Don't do that. I want to see this thing in more stuff. But I want to see it in things like, I want to see it as an ally to the human characters. Yes. Yes, I am serious. Because we don't have any, and I mean any, half human, half xenomorph, average sized characters that are literally a xenomorph, but it's the average size of a normal person. So basically what I'm trying to say here is that Alien Romulus is good. I think I'll give Alien Romulus a 10 out of 10 on horror. Definitely. Practical effects is also a 10 out of 10. And also the use of atmosphere of the music. Now I thought they would have had the Covenant theme. They have the Prometheus theme in there. I like the Covenant theme, the beep boop beep boop beep 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 beep. Like, not gonna stop there before I get sued or canceled. I'm just gonna stop there, not do the whole one. But it's basically playing like the original Alien music, except it's more dramatic. I like that theme because it's more dramatic. But if they want to do, they do want to keep the Alien like bloodline alive, they have to do new material. Not saying now, everyone loves the original films, right? How about they take what they already know from the original movies, right? And this new one for the next movie after Alien Romulus. And they better put the rhino in the game, or in the movie. Because I want the next Aliens movie to have it where humans are experimenting on these xenomorphs. Yeah, are harvesting them. Where it makes you feel bad for these creatures, but it makes you don't feel bad in a way that they're getting like cut open and whatnot. Basically something like that exact thing there, where basically what I'm saying is that they basically are cloning xenomorphs. but they're not perfect. They're not like fully complete, if that makes any sense. They're basically like a half human, half xenomorph, but they're like corrupted. And I hope they don't do the clone trope again. Like, please. Like, with Rain. Like, they better not do the whole cloning trope again with Rain and Andy for the next film. Because I want the next film after Romulus to be specifically about humans finding samples of these creatures in the franchise and manipulating their capabilities. Like their acid blood, their chitin skin. Like basically turning a full-on human man into a xenomorph. Like that sort of thing. Like that sort of thing, like, is detrimental in my book. But anyway, Alien Romulus is a great film. I love it so much. I really, really want to see this franchise continue, if at all possible. I really, really do. Because Fede Alvarez would be good. A good pick for Wildcard. For an ARC movie. Because he could put a tone on Aberration and make it one of the scariest movies ever. Yeah. I said it myself right there. But anyway, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that the next Alien movie will take place between Aliens or Aliens and Aliens 3? Or do you think that they'll just, they'll just keep Romulus as a one-off thing and, go into the far future or whatever? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. This is Dino Boy Gaming, signing off.